Hello everyone. In today's presentation, I will be presenting a topic of epilepsy. Epilepsy is a common disorder seen in 5 to 30 cases per thousand population. Learning objective of today's presentation is definition of seizures and epilepsy, then approach and classification of epilepsy, type and characteristics of epilepsy, then pharmacotherapy of epilepsy, when to start, what to use, when to stop the therapy, and patient education in epilepsy, recognition and management of status epilepticus, and management of refractory status epilepticus. Definition of epilepsies: seizure are episode of transient neurological changes due to hypersynchronous, hyperexcited neuronal activity. They are of two categories: provoked and unprovoked. Provoked seizures, in short, means which has some underlying cause. Example: central nervous system granulomatous disease, or stroke, or who has got a space occupying lesion, or encephalitis. These lesions can be identified on the imaging or on the CSF analysis. An unprovoked seizure means which has no underlying identifiable cause on the imaging or on the biochemical analysis of CSF. So, provoked seizure is also called as acute symptomatic seizure or triggered seizure, which has underlying identifiable cause, and unprovoked seizure, which has no underlying identifiable cause. Epilepsy is defined as condition of recurrent unprovoked seizure. So, if person has gotten a repeated episode of seizures, then we call it as a epilepsy. Clinical approach to the epilepsy: if person is presenting with seizures, then one has to follow these four simple steps. Step 1 is to identify seizures. Step 2 is to identify type of seizures. Step 3 is to identify if person has got any epileptic syndromes. And step 4 is to identify any etiology of epilepsy which is evident clinically. The first step is to identify that the patient has seizure rather than any other type of paroxysmal event which mimics seizure disorder, such as syncope, abuse of psychoactive drug, then metabolic disturbances, then psychoactive drug, migraine, transient ischemic attack, then sleep disorder, movement disorder. Step 2 is to identify epilepsy based on the seizure type, whether the patient has got primarily generalized onset of seizures or focal seizure, or unknown. Here unknown means whether the patient has a focal onset or primary generalized onset of seizure, or patient has unclassified seizure. Step 3 is to identify patient has got any epileptic syndromes. Fourth step is to identify etiology of epilepsy. Differential diagnosis of seizure or the disorder which mimics the seizures as a paroxysmal event. They are syncope, which can be vasovagal syncope, or cardiac arrhythmia, tachy or bradyarrhythmia. In bradyarrhythmia, if person develops a sudden loss of consciousness, we call it the stroke-Adams syndrome. Then valvular heart disease, especially aortic stenosis. Then cardiac failure, orthostatic hypotension. Then psychological disorders such as psychogenic seizures, then hyperventilation syndrome, then panic attack, and metabolic disturbances such as alcoholic blackouts, delirium tremens, hypoglycemia, hypoxia, then psychoactive drugs. Then migraine, there is a variant of migraine called as confusional migraine or basilar migraine. Then transient ischemic attack, especially in basilar artery TIA. Then sleep disorder, the narcolepsy or cataplexy. Then benign sleep myoclonus. Then movement disorders, which can mimic their tics, non-epileptic myoclonus, paroxysmal choreoathetosis. And especially in children, one has to look whether the patient has got any breath holding spell, migraine with recurrent abdominal pain and cyclical vomiting, which is variant of a migraine. Then benign paroxysmal vertigo, apnea, night tremors, and sleepwalking. Classification of seizure based on 2017 International League Against Epilepsy classification of seizure types. This is simplified version. Based on the onset of the seizure, this classification divides into the three main categories. First is focal onset, or whether generalized onset, or we don't know the onset of the origin of seizure, or called as unknown onset. In first class, that is focal onset, which can be further described as having intact or impaired awareness, whether patient's consciousness or awareness has been intact or it has been lost. Second is motor or non-motor onset, then are evolved into the focal or bilateral tonic-clonic type of seizure. The second is generalized onset, whether it is motor manifestation or non-motor manifestation. Manifestations could be tonic-clonic or other motor manifestations such as atonic seizures or myoclonic seizures. And second category in generalized onset is non-motor manifestation, which is also called as absence seizure. And third is whether the onset is unknown, which can be further described as a motor, non-motor or unclassified type of seizure. This is a detailed version of new 2017 International League Against Epilepsy classification of seizure types. Based on their presentation, they are classified into focal onset seizure, or generalized onset, or unknown onset, or unclassified seizure. In focal onset seizures, they are further divided into two categories, motor onset or non-motor onset. In motor onset, during presentation, whether the person was aware of his surrounding or awareness was impaired or unknown about his awareness, where history of his awareness could not be obtained. Then whether there was any presence of automatism, presence of tonic or clonic seizure or epileptic spasms were there, or was there any hyperkinetic movements or myoclonic or tonic jars were there. Then whether this focal seizure has led to bilateral tonic-clonic movements. In non-motor onset, whether the person has maintained awareness or there was awareness was impaired or history of awareness could not be obtained, or was there any presence of autonomic symptoms or presence of any behavioral arrest or cognitive dysfunctional, or there is any emotional changes or sensory symptoms, and whether this non-motor onset focal seizure has led to bilateral tonic-clonic seizures. So this is about focal onset of seizure. Then second type is generalized onset of seizure. This is further classified into the motor and non-motor. Non-motor is also called as absence seizure. In motor manifestation, whether the patient has got a tonic-clonic seizure or only tonic seizures or clonic seizures, then myoclonic jars, the myoclonic tonic-clonic seizures, the myoclonic atonic seizures, and atonic and epileptic spasms. In non-motor manifestation, also called as absence seizure, whether it was typical, atypical, or myoclonic, or was there any eyelid myoclonia. Then unknown onset of seizures, whether the patient has again motor or non-motor. In motor, whether tonic-clonic movements were there, or was there any epileptiform spasms. In non-motor, behavioral arrest and unclassified seizure. Focal onset of seizure. You will see some of the peculiarity and features of focal onset of seizure. This type of seizure arises from neuronal network either discretely localized within one brain region. In current 2017 International League Against Epilepsy new classification system, the older subcategories of simple focal seizure, complex focal seizure have been eliminated. Instead, this new classification emphasizes on the effect on awareness, whether awareness was intact or impaired, and the nature of onset, whether it was motor onset and has a non-motor manifestation. The routine interactal, that is EEG taken between the two seizures, often normal with this focal onset of seizures. As this focal seizure often arises from the medial temporal lobe or inferior frontal lobe, these are the region at a distance from the skull. EEG often recorded during this seizure may be non-localizing. We will see some of the peculiarity of focal onset of seizure with intact awareness. Focal seizures can have motor manifestation such as tonic-clonic seizures or myoclonic movement, or non-motor manifestation such as sensory symptoms or autonomic symptoms or emotional symptoms without any impairment of awareness. There are three additional features of focal motor seizures may be present. First is Jacksonian march, which represent spread of seizure activity over progressive larger region of motor cortex. Example, if abnormal movement which have been started in the finger, then it spreads to entire involved limb. The second feature is Todd's paralysis. Here, patient may experience a localized paralysis for a minute to many hours in involved region of brain following seizures activity. The third one is epilepsia partialis continua. Here, the focal seizures may continue for hours or day, often refractory to medical therapy. EEG recorded with scalp electrode during seizure, that is ictal EEG, may show abnormal discharge in very limited region of brain. The other manifestation of focal onset of seizure with intact awareness are focal seizure may also manifest as a changes in somatic sensation, example paresthesias in the limb or around the lips, and visual changes, example visual flushing of lights or visual hallucination, then equilibrium changes, example sensation of falling or vertigo, then autonomic function changes such as flushing, in sweating or piloerection. When temporal and frontal origin of seizure may cause unusual sensation. First one is hearing sensation. Example, somebody he is hearing a crude sound or highly complex sound hearing sensation or olfaction sensation. Example, intense odor of burning rubber or kerosene oil burning sensation. Third one is emotional state changes. Some patient may describe odd internal feeling such as fear or sense of impending changes, detachment or depolarization or deja vu or illusion that subject are growing smaller called as microphasia or larger macrophasia. These subjective internal events that are not directly observed by someone, hence they are referred as an auras. Then we'll move on to second type of subtype of focal seizure, that is focal seizure with impaired awareness. And we'll see some of the peculiarity of this type of seizures. This type of seizure frequently begins with aura. Motionless stare is often starting point of this type of seizure. Then impaired awareness is usually accompanied by automatism such as chewing or lip smacking, swallowing or picking movement of hand, or more elaborate behavior such as display of emotion or running may be seen in this type of seizures. Focal seizure may also be accompanied by transient impairment of patient's ability to maintain normal contact with environment. That is, he will not respond to appropriate visual or verbal commands. Then we'll move on to third variety of focal seizure, that is evolution of focal seizure into the generalized seizure. And we'll see some of the peculiarity of this type of seizure. This type of seizure observed frequently following focal seizure arising from the region of frontal lobe. This type of focal seizure can spread to involve both cerebral hemisphere and produces generalized seizure, usually a tonic-clonic variety. A bystander or family member may not able to reveal correctly focal seizure as a starting point, as their story is more driven by a dramatic event such as tonic-clonic movement, and it is important to differentiate focal onset of seizure involving into the generalized tonic-clonic seizure from primary generalized tonic-clonic seizure, as there is a substantial difference in evaluation and treatment of this type of seizure. In such a scenario, a careful analysis of EEG will helpful to differentiate between this type of two seizures. Then we'll move on to a second important category in the seizure classification, that is generalized onset of seizure. Generalized onset of seizure arises at some point in the brain but immediately and rapidly engages neuronal network in both cerebral hemispheres. They are further divided into a typical absence seizure, atypical absence seizure, generalized tonic-clonic seizure, atonic seizure, myoclonic seizure, and epileptic spasms. Typical absence seizure is characterized by a sudden, brief lapse of consciousness without loss of postural control. This type of seizure usually lasts only for seconds. Consciousness returns as suddenly it has lost, and there is no postictal confusion. They are associated with a group of genetically determined epilepsies with onset usually in the childhood, that is age between 4 to 10 years. 15 to 20% of children has this type of epilepsies. Seizures can occur hundreds of times in a day, but child may not be aware of it and the parents may not notice it as they have no clue about its presentation. Often first sign of absence seizure is daydreaming like a situation or decline in the school performance. EEG hallmark of typical absence seizure is generalized symmetric pre-hertz spike and slow wave discharges that begins and ends suddenly, superimposed on a normal EEG background. We'll move on to atypical absence seizure and we'll see some of the characteristic finding of this type of atypical absence seizure. It is different clinically and electrophysiologically from typical absence seizure. Usually it is associated with diffuse and multifocal structural abnormality of the brain. Therefore, may accompany other neurological dysfunction such as mental retardation. The loss of consciousness is usually longer in duration and has a less abrupt onset and as well as cessation. Seizure is accompanied by more obvious motor signs that may include focal or lateralizing features of seizures. The EEG will show generalized slow spike and slow wave pattern with a frequency of less than or equal to 2.5 Hz per second as well as other abnormal activities. This type of seizure are less responsive to anticonvulsants compared to typical absence seizure. Then we'll move on to next important topic in the classification of epilepsy, generalized tonic-clonic seizure. This is most common type of seizure seen in 10% of all persons with epilepsy. This type of seizure results from metabolic derangement, therefore frequently seen in different clinical settings. It begins abruptly without any warning. The initial phase of this type of seizure is usually tonic contraction of muscle throughout the body, which results in various clinical manifestations such as tonic contraction of the muscles of expiration, larynx at the onset, that will produce a loud moan or ictal cry. Respiration is impaired and secretion pool in the oropharynx and cyanosis may subsequently develop. Contraction of the jaw muscle may cause biting of the tongue, especially on the lateral aspect of the tongue. Thereafter, 10 to 15 seconds, tonic phase of seizure typically evolves into the clonic phase, which is due to the period of muscle relaxation following tonic muscle contraction. The period of muscle contraction progressively increases until the end of ictal phase. A number of variations can occur in this type of seizure, such as pure tonic, pure clonic seizure, mixed type of seizure, and there is one phenotype called as Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which you are going to see in subsequent presentation. And there is marked increase in sympathetic tone or heightened sympathetic activity, which increases heart rate, then blood pressure and pupillary size. In generalized tonic-clonic seizure, post-ictal phase is characterized by unresponsiveness, then muscle flaccidity, excessive salivation that can cause stridorous breathing and partial airway obstruction. Post-ictal phase may be longer if person has prolonged seizure or underlying central nervous system disease such as cerebral atrophy following chronic alcohol abuse. Then bladder and bowel incontinence may be seen during post-ictal phase. Patient afterwards gradually regains consciousness over minutes to hours. During this transition, there is a typical period of post-ictal confusion. Patient subsequently may complain headache, fatigue, muscle ache that can last for many hours. EEG during tonic phase shows a progressive increase in generalized low voltage fast activity followed by generalized high amplitude polyspike discharge. EEG during clonic phase shows high amplitude activity is typically interrupted by slow waves to create a spike and slow wave pattern. EEG during postictal phase shows a diffuse suppression of all cerebral activity, then showing that gradual recovery as the patient awakens. Atonic seizure characterized by sudden loss of postural muscle tone lasting 1 to 2 seconds. Consciousness is briefly impaired, but there is usually no postictal confusion. This type of seizure can be extremely dangerous because there is substantial risk of direct head injury with the fall of patient. EEG shows brief generalized spike and wave discharges followed immediately by diffuse slow wave that correlates with a loss of muscle tone. Myoclonic seizures. Myoclonus is a sudden and brief muscle contraction that may involve one part of the body or entire body. Myoclonic seizure usually coexist with other form of generalized seizure. The normal and common physiological form of myoclonus is a sudden jerking movement observed while person is sleeping. Pathological myoclonus is commonly seen in association with metabolic disorder, degenerative central nervous system disease, or anoxic brain injury. EEG shows bilateral synchronized spike and slow wave discharges immediately prior to the movement, and muscle contraction artifacts may be seen, and it is due to the ongoing myoclonic movements. Epileptic spasm is characterized by briefly sustained flexion or extension of predominantly proximal muscle, including truncal muscles. Epileptic spasm occurs predominantly in the infants and are likely result from difference in neuronal function and connectivity in the immature versus mature central nervous system. EEG in this type of patients will show hyperarrhythmia, which consists of diffuse giant slow waves with chaotic background of irregular multifocal spike and sharp waves. Then we'll move on to next topic, that is epileptic syndromes. Epileptic syndromes are disorders in which epilepsy is a predominant feature. There are three types: juvenile myoclonus, Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, then mesial temporal lobe epilepsy syndrome. In epileptic syndrome, the first is juvenile myoclonic epilepsy. This type of seizure disorder is of unknown cause and that appears in early adolescence, and it is usually characterized by bilateral myoclonic jerks that may be single or repetitive. There is often family history of epilepsy, and genetic linkage study suggested that it has a polygenetic cause. Myoclonus seizures are most frequently seen in the morning after awakening and can be provoked by sleep deprivation. Consciousness is well preserved unless myoclonus is severe. Many patients have a generalized tonic-clonic seizure, and up to one-third have an absence seizure. In this type of seizure, complete remission is uncommon. This type of seizure usually respond well to anticonvulsant medication. Second epileptic syndrome is Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. This type of seizures are seen in the children and is defined by following triad. Multiple seizure types usually include generalized tonic-clonic, atonic, and atypical absence seizure. EEG will show a slow, less than 3 Hz spike, wave discharges, and variety of the other abnormalities. The third one is impaired cognitive function. Is in most of the cases, but not all the cases. The causes of this Lennox-Gastaut syndrome is de novo mutation, developmental abnormality, perinatal hypoxemia or ischemia, then head trauma, infection, and other acquired lesions. Patient will have a poor prognosis due to underlying central nervous disease. Physical and psychological consequences are severe, especially in poorly controlled epilepsies. This is the third type of epileptic syndrome, mesial temporal lobe epilepsy syndrome. Recognition of this syndrome is especially important because it tends to be refractory to the medical treatment with anticonvulsant therapy, but respond well to surgical intervention. This syndrome is associated with focal seizure with impairment of consciousness, and it is an example of an epilepsy syndrome with distinctive clinical, electroencephalographic, and pathological feature, which you are going to see in the next table. The high resolution magnetic resonance imaging can detect hippocampal sclerosis, which is a characteristic of this type of seizure syndrome. The characteristic clinical features of this syndrome is there will be history of febrile seizures, family history of epilepsy, usually it is early in onset, rare to have generalized seizure, seizures may remit and reappear, seizures often are intractable, clinical observations, aura is common, behavioral arrest and stay is seen, there are complex automatism, then unilateral posturing, then post-ictal disorientation, memory loss, dysphagia. Laboratory abnormalities are unilateral or bilateral anterior temporal lobe spikes on EEG, hypometabolism on intractable PET scan, then hypoperfusion on intraictal SPECTs, then maternal specific memory defects on intracranial aminobarbital test. The MRI finding is small hippocampus with increased signal on T2 weighted sequences, small temporal lobe, enlarged temporal horn. So these are the some of the clinical characteristics of this mesial temporal lobe epilepsy. This is a coronal high resolution T2 weighted image showing abnormal high signal intensity and blurring of internal laminar architecture and reduced size of a left hippocampus, which is shown here as an arrow. Relative to the right suggests an hippocampus sclerosis. This characteristic hippocampus sclerosis that appears to be an essential in pathophysiology of this type of seizures.